Alright, this is a short video on how to check your Spraymist system on your AMS Aluminium Upcut saw. This applies to the ACK 420, ACK 550, which is this model here, and the ACK 700. First thing you want to check is to make sure that you've got coolant in your bottle. It seems like a no-brainer, but a lot of times there isn't any coolant. So this one we have some coolant there. You also want to make sure that your bottle filter is okay. So this is your bottle filter here. So as you can see there, it still looks like it's in good condition. The foam element's okay. There's a little bit of corrosion, which is always something for concern, but you'll be able to tell most of them come off. But yeah, every year or two you want to replace these because they are a consumable item. When you put the filter back in the bottle, make sure it's fully submerged in the coolant. Make sure the lid's on, so make sure that's all the way down the bottom, touching. Also too, you want to make sure that your lubrication on-off valve is turned to the on position, which it is here. So when it's facing perpendicular to the end of the hose fitting, that means it's on. Turn it sideways, that means it's off. So make sure that's on as well. A lot of times people turn that off thinking it's something else, but it's actually for your coolant. Okay. Final thing to check is inside the cabinet is your Spraymist block or Spraymist application block. First thing you want to do is open up the cabinet with a key. Some of the models have a lockout switch on them. This is activated usually when the machine's been turned off, the motor's been turned off and the main power's been turned off. This will activate for a period of time until the blade stops winding down. Actually, it is when you turn the motor off. So when you press the motor stop, you leave the machine on, turn the motor off. It'll take at least 1 to 2 minutes for this thing to release. So then you can access the cabinet. It just stops people putting their hands in there while the blade's still spinning down. But once you've got it open, if you have a look inside, you have the blade housing right here. So the blade's housed in there, and you'll have the Spraymist lubrication block on the front of the machine, which is this here. So the blue line is your coolant line, and the grey line is your air line. The way they work is they force air into the Spraymist block, creating a Venturi effect, which then in turn sucks up the coolant through the blue line. To adjust this is just a case of winding out the thumb screw. What I usually recommend is winding it in a little bit first, testing the machine, and if there's no coolant coming out, then you can start turning out about 1 turn at a time until you have enough coolant. You don't want heaps of coolant coming out, you just want enough to lubricate the job and the saw blade. If it's flooding the table, it's way too much, you've got to turn it back a bit. So it's just a matter of trial and error, but yeah, wind it out a little bit, run the machine, test it. Another thing I might mention is if you wind it out too far, it actually stops. So there's actually a medium for where it's like at its highest flow, then it stops, and also back the other way. So that's why I say if you've winded it too far, wind it in about 4 or 5 turns, test it again, and then you can start winding out. All right, so once we've adjusted that, we can close the machine. Lock the cabinet. And then we'll just run the machine, so turn the switch on, turn the motor on. Alright, so what we'll do now is we're going to test the coolant by raising the blade. So if we press the 2 buttons on the front, hard to see, like you'll see a little bit of coolant building up on the screen. That's actually a good amount. It's like a lot, that's way too much. You can see you've got a little bit pulling on the table, that's fine. Any more than that's too much, means you need to wind the coolant system back. So if it's not enough, what you need to do is then stop the motor, open up the front cabinet and adjust the coolant system to wind it out a bit more. If it's too much, same procedure, but wind the thumb screw in, so clockwise. I hope this helped.